Harlem, New York, 1948. The jazz set was the allure for aspiring musicians and beatniks. You could go anywhere in Harlem to hear good music, dance the East Coast swing, and score some heroin. A young and aspiring musician, James Allen arrived in West Harlem from Shreveport, Louisiana, in search of some excitement and maybe a career, but soon found himself caught in the grips of heroin addiction. For 10 long years, he ran the streets of Harlem and lived as a heroin junkie. Nothing else mattered. But Mary Williams had fallen in love with Allen. Eventually, Mary convinced Allen to go and get treatment for his addiction in Lexington, Kentucky, one of just a few treatment facilities in the United States at the time. Void of any emotion or pride, he sought the peace that his grandparents, who loved the Lord, had. Allen rediscovered the Bible and developed a true relationship with God. "I'll dedicate my life to helping other drug victims and share the love of God," is what he wrote home to Mary. And upon his return to Harlem, 33-year-old James Allen began a focused life on doing just that.
Down at the altar.
True to his new relationship with God, Sunday morning found Allen and his wife in the services of the Manhattan Christian Reformed Church on West 122nd Street and 7th Avenue. The issues of addiction in the community were a priority for the pastor. After being asked by a heroin addict, "Does God love dope fiends?" the church responded by organizing a forum where addicts could gather, have some coffee, and discuss a better way of life. Allen embraced the opportunity to be a part of the solution and immediately relished a lead role, having only his experiences at Lexington, Kentucky, and his faith as a compass. In 1958, the Addicts Rehabilitation Center was born. The new program offered day services, hospital referrals, and employment assistance. But the citizens of Harlem continued to die disproportionately from a slavery that would just as soon slay you before giving you freedom. At a time when a heroin addict was looked upon as a scourge in society, Allen, the crusader, focused on bringing attention to the plight and securing funding for residential services. Allen's determination resulted in the first affordable residential substance abuse treatment facility for the citizens of Harlem. Although ARC enjoyed a good success rate, the community's needs were larger than the space available. Allen continued to fear for the lives that he had to turn away due to overcrowding. Fate would intervene. A good friend and supporter of the cause, Percy Sutton, informed Allen of a vacant 5-story piano warehouse on East 128th Street. Allen seized the blessing, and 1881 Park Avenue became home to 225 recovering heroin victims. But the gift came with a mortgage of $130,000. Allen feared having to close down and send heroin victims back into a community with little hope. His faithful wife suggested that he pray about it. Allen gave it to God. Just a few days later, Allen was taken aback by the soulful and harmonious voices of a few residents. The visionary in James Allen immediately realized a way to praise the Lord and continue his mission of saving lives. The ARC Gospel Choir was born. Under the direction of Allen, who had never given up his love for music, the choir began to perform for church, social, and civic engagements while delivering a message of recovery. In time, the mortgage was successfully paid off. The choir went on to record several albums and travel abroad. ARC continued to establish itself as a haven in Harlem. But a mysterious virus had begun claiming lives without mercy. Then crack hit Harlem. The impact was devastating. The crime rate and homelessness soared. In his effort to help a suffering society, 1881 often stayed overcrowded with an extensive waiting list. James Allen and the ARC Gospel Choir engaged the community, built relationships, and secured funding for additional residential services. In 1993, the doors of Feemster Memorial at 2015 Madison Avenue were opened, and an additional 204 beds became available to people seeking an opportunity to repair their lives. Addressing the community's needs had become a way of life for the visionary James Allen. Under the Addicts Rehabilitation Center, several high-standard housing options had become available to the citizens of Harlem. HIV/AIDS housing at Gabriel House, transitional housing at Vincent P. Cyrus Plaza, family residentials at James Bryant's Legacy Homes. What began as a small meeting for drug victims to discuss their problems and solutions grew to become one of the oldest and largest residential substance abuse treatment facilities in the state of New York. The Addicts Rehabilitation Center, a haven in Harlem.